Hi, Laura from Front Office Rocks. Thank you for checking another video out on YouTube, and I'm super excited that you're here. So I mentioned in other videos that one of the things we do not have enough of in the dental office is time. If you ask anybody, most of the time we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off, and we get to the end of the day and we're exhausted. And the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. The front doesn't know what the back's doing. The doctor doesn't know what the team's doing. And so we get busy, but we're not efficient. And I'm all about teaching efficiency. I'm also all about prioritizing tasks and helping your team learn how to prioritize tasks because not everything fits into one box. And what tends to happen is we treat everything in the dental office with the same sense of urgency. If it's in front of us, it's urgent. If it's being talked to about it right now, it's urgent. And we're not blocking and prioritizing and making sure the non-urgent things happen. We're just handling stuff as it comes at us. And that's going to cause for an exhausted doctor and an exhausted team and not getting things done. So we tend to gravitate towards things we're good at. We tend to gravitate towards things that we like. We tend to gravitate, easy to say, towards production, right? That's one of the reasons I wrote the book called Step Away from the Drill, because dentists, you love production. So we force that in the schedule. But what happens is we're not prioritizing other tasks. We're not putting tasks that maybe aren't as fun, aren't as easy to find time to do towards the end of the day, or sometimes never happens at all. So what I suggest is you really look at when is the best time to do things that never have enough time. You never have enough time to get done. So I'm going to talk about this specific for training because I hear about this all the time from dentists who say to me, Laura, I bought access to Front Office Rocks, but my team just never has enough time to train. There's just not enough time in the day to do training. My team just says they don't have time to do training. Well, that's because there is not enough time in the day. That is because your team is not going to get up and walk away from production in the middle of the day to go watch some videos. We have to make it happen. Training is not fun necessarily. It should be. Hopefully I make it fun, but it's not necessarily, we're in the middle of trying to see patients. Getting up and going to do training just isn't on the top of mind, right? It's kind of like, and I equate this to working out. Like I have to put it in my schedule to work out. If I want to work out, it's got to be in the schedule and I got to plan for it and I've got to calendar it or it just doesn't happen. Now, once I work out, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I worked out. That was awesome. Maybe right after or, a few hours later, but regardless, I do it so that I get the product that I want. So with regards to procrastination and the things that we're not having enough time to do, like training, we need to pick the best time of day to do it. And then we need to schedule it. Because if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't happen. So my suggestion for these critical activities, which I feel regular training for your dental office is to schedule it first thing in the morning or first thing after lunch. And the reason that I say that is because once we get sucked into production, it just doesn't happen. But when it's first thing in the morning, our team members can come in, they can clock in, and they can go right over and do an hour of training. Or right after lunch, they can clock back in from lunch and go do an hour of training. Or maybe even like working out, maybe the last hour of the day. Like before they leave, they get an extra half hour where they can go do training. Or on Fridays when you're closed. Those are times where we don't get sucked into the day-to-day, the daily activity, where we can actually schedule some time to do something that might not seem super fun in the beginning, but is a priority, should be scheduled, and is going to have an impact on your practice. So helping yourself, your team, doctor, office manager prioritize what is important and then making sure it gets scheduled is you're going to need to do to change your practice. You can't just expect it to happen because time is something we just don't have enough of. So make sure that you're prioritizing it. At Front Office Rocks, we can help you with this. This is what we do for a living. But just realize that it's just not going to happen on its own. If it's something that's not happening right now, it needs to be scheduled because it's not a priority. Things get in the way, things happen, and you're responsible for making sure it happens. So Please subscribe below if you have other thoughts about this. I'd love to hear it. If you have questions about how to do this, I would love to hear it put in the comments. And I will see you on another YouTube video. Thank you.